Today, on Rebel Report, full speed ahead in Las Vegas. All the coverage from South Point 400.
It's that time of the year. We discuss the start of the NBA season and the storylines we're looking forward to see play out.
And the Rebels are headed to Indiana. We'll bring you the latest on their game against the Fighting Irish. Welcome to Studio G on the campus of UNLV. This is the Rebel Report. I'm Jay Thomas.
And I'm Chris Clark.
Before we dive into the local sports news of the week, we want to tell you what we're about. Every week we cover UNLV athletics, the games, the events, the athletes and coaches.
But we're also here to cover the community as well as all of the major sporting events happening in Southern Nevada. Let's begin with our top story. Dom, tell us all about NASCAR this weekend.
Thank you, Chris. Now, the NASCAR Cup Series hit the track at Las Vegas Motor Speedway to open up the NASCAR Cup Series round of 8, but there were some major storylines for some Las Vegas natives. Now, let's just get right into the biggest news of the weekend. NASCAR veteran and Vegas native Kurt Busch announced his retirement from full-time NASCAR Cup Series competition in a press conference over the weekend. The 23-year NASCAR Cup Series veteran registered a total of 34 wins and led over 10,000 laps in his career. Busch also won the NASCAR Cup Series title in 2004 and the biggest race NASCAR has to offer being the Daytona 500 in 2017. He is also the last driver to attempt NASCAR's longest race, the Coke 600 in Charlotte, and the Indianapolis 500 in the same day. Busch is forced into retirement after sustaining a concussion that you're seeing on screen during a wreck in a practice session at Pocono Raceway in July.
I know I'm not 100% in my ability to go out and race at the top level of the NASCAR Cup Series. These are the best of the best drivers, and lately I haven't felt my best. As I continue to focus on my health towards being cleared, I'll be stepping away from full-time NASCAR Cup Series competition in 2023. My long-term health is priority number one, and I don't feel committing at this point to compete for a championship next year is in my best interest or the best interest of the team.
Now, Busch is leaving the door open for the possibility of returning to race in the Cup Series if he becomes medically clear. Now we're going to move on to the other Busch brother, Kyle Busch. He had a really rough day on Sunday, spinning early in the South Point 400, right around at the end of stage 1, and then he crawled his way back to the front over the course of the race, only to lose an entire wheel under caution. But Busch and his number 18 M&M's team didn't give up. They showed some resilience and they drove all the way back to a third place finish at his home track. And capping us off with another big story, Bishop Gorman graduate Noah Gragson returned home for some double duty this past weekend. Gragson ran well in the All-SCO 302 for the Xfinity Series on Saturday, leading a good amount of the race and coming home second, even winning a stage that you're seeing there on screen. But Sunday's South Point 400 was bigger for Gragson, this being his first NASCAR Cup Series start at his home track. Gragson piloted the number 48 Ally Financial car to an 11th place finish in relief for Alex Bowman, and he said Saturday after the All-SCO 302 that Vegas was a place that he really wanted to win at for a long time.
Had it won last year, green white checker got beat. Had it won this year. Whoever caused the last caution, we had a 7-second lead, executed it right, and then I'm not complaining. I need to do a better job at the end of the day. So just pissed off and go back and learn. But definitely last Xfinity race here at Vegas. It's one that I've wanted to win a long time and didn't get the job done. It sucks.
Now NASCAR returns to the Las Vegas Valley in March, and it'll look a little bit different for the Vegas natives. Kurt Busch is retired, Kyle Busch is moving teams, and Noah Gragson finally gets the call up to the NASCAR Cup Series. In the studio, I'm Dominic Lavoie. Back to you.
Thanks, Dom. We caught up with the defending Mountain West champion Lady Rebels.
Let's see how they're gearing up to defend their title. I'm like, get it. I literally told my class.
The Runnin' Rebels aren't the only team that's running wild this season. The reigning Mountain West champs, our Lady Rebels, are gearing up for another season. We spoke with last year's Mountain West Player of the Year, Desi Ray Young. We asked her how her team is preparing as a huge target is on their back.
Well, we deal with it by practicing against guys who are bigger, stronger, faster than us. We practice it against each other. We practice it talking, communicating, just doing about everything.
Desi was also named Preseason Player of the Year for this upcoming season. When asked about the pressure, this was her response.
I ain't got to worry about the pressure. The pressure's outside of me. It's more pressure than me. It's me, and then there's more pressure. The pressure is not even me. The pressure's on the outside. Don't worry about them before y'all worry about me.
We also caught up with sophomore shooting guard Alyssa Durazo-Frescas, who was named to the all-freshman team last year. Alyssa was ranked 10th in the NCAA for three-point percentages. We asked what has changed since last season.
I have a much bigger role in the team this year. I have a lot of goals for myself, a lot of goals for the team. And yeah, there's a lot of pressure, but I can handle it. Follow the footsteps of Jade Thomas and what she did. Just try to do the same things that she brought to this team. And honestly, I thank her for a lot on the court.
The Rebels also added another shooter, Ashley Scoggin, a senior transfer from Nebraska. She is excited and wants everyone to know that she is ready to go.
Lethal shooter. That's my jam. So super excited to do that. Super excited to be in a new arena, playing different teams. So yeah, they'll definitely know once they see.
Their key returner is Essence Booker, the floor general. Booker was named to the All-Mountain West team last season and was also on the preseason All-Mountain West team for this upcoming season. The Lady Rebels went to the big dance for the first time in 20 years, but this year their goals are even higher.
1, I want to win conference. 2, I want to win a conference tournament. And then I want to get to the tournament, but I want to get past the first and second round.
They have some big goals this season, and the Lady Rebels kick off their season on November 7th against Pepperdine here at the Cox Pavilion.
Okay, so before we begin this week's episode of Who Is That Rebel? Hey, Jade. Do you know who this is?
I do know who that is.
Okay, so for this week's episode of Who Is That Rebel, we went around the campus to see if anybody knows who Lady Rebels coach Lindy LaRocque is. Let's take a look at the highlights. If you got a second?
Yeah, what's up, Jen?
I want you to get this one. I want you to get this one the first time, though. This is an easy one, though. I'll hand this over to you.
Cindy LaRocque.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Thank
you.
Better this
Do you know who this woman is?
No, I do not. Is she a coach on campus?
I'm
getting coach vibes.
I was just about to show you this picture.
Yeah, she looks like okay, so she is. All right.
Yeah.
Basketball, women's?
Yes, women's basketball. Have you been to any of the games?
I have not.
No, I haven't.
You should. They're really good.
A lot.
Are you a women's basketball fan?
Absolutely.
Who is this?
That is Lindy LaRocque.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ryan.
All right, thank
I
you.
appreciate it.
Back to you guys.
Yes, round of applause. Do you know who this woman is?
No.
Okay. How about, if I show you, this probably isn't going to make a difference, but
No.
how about this picture?
No. Maybe is she a coach?
Yeah, Jade would be ashamed of you right now, because that's her coach. That's the women's basketball coach.
I don't follow sports.
Definitely know who this is. Who is this?
That's Coach Lindy.
Yeah, she's awesome, isn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. So, yes, she's very awesome. Yeah, it was.
Who is that? Oh, it's Coach Lindy.
There you go.
That's Coach Lindy, man. That is a winning coach right there.
Yes, it is. One of very few.
One of the few, right? But one of the best. One of the best. She led our Lady Rebels to the top, man. It's great. It's great to see her. Yes. Coach Lindy.
Yes, thank you, RT. Right on. Awesome. So UNLV Director of Athletics, Eric Harper, announced a new strategic plan for athletics. The goal behind the project is to give a premier student-athlete experience to provide Rebels the opportunity to succeed as students, athletes, and community leaders. The strategic plan is broken down into 6 core areas: student-athlete development, athletic excellence, model enterprise, fan experience, community relationships, and diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging. Each core area sets specific objectives intended to bring UNLV into the future as a proactive an innovative leader in both education and athletics.
The NBA season has begun on Tuesday, and here at Rebel Report, we are interested in seeing how it plays out. Let's head over to our panel to discuss what we're expecting to see this season.
Thank you, Jade. So for today's discussion, we're going to focus on the NBA. So we have had a couple of games happen so far this season, and there was a lot of drama though during the summer and in preseason and things of that nature. So what I want to know is, what storylines are you guys watching? Like, what are you looking forward to seeing play out this season?
Well, one of the storylines, Chris, that I was looking forward to, and they actually played yesterday, was the Brooklyn Nets, and they started 0-1 after losing 130 to 108. A couple of storylines I have for them is, can Ben Simmons make a difference now that he's actually playing? Because his first game was a little rough for him. He had 4 points. He fouled out. So not the best start. And then on top of that is if Steve Nash can keep his job, because the Nets start their season off with 12 of their first 20 games on the road. So it's going to be tough. They have a tough schedule with the Bucks, Grizzlies, Mavericks as a couple teams. So if they start out bad, does Durant want them gone? That's another one. And then the last one I had was, can they stay healthy? A big thing with the Nets last season was players missing games. Like Kevin Durant missed 27 games. Ben Simmons didn't even play. And then Kyrie missed 53 games. Joe Harris, 68 games. And Seth Curry missed 63. So health is a big part in their game too.
Yeah, and the Pelicans look great in that game, so
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see what they do. What do you think, Justin?
Well, I think it goes without saying that all eyes on the defending champs, right? The Golden State Warriors. I mean, we all know what happened a couple weeks back in practice. We don't need to talk about it. But it is kind of coincidental that feud amongst the team happens around contract extension years, KD and Draymond. But nonetheless, Draymond, he's the voice, he's the heart and soul of this team. So I'm curious to see how he can still lead this team and keep the camaraderie and chemistry together throughout the entire season. And they did lose a couple of key players, key role guys from last season, but this is a great time for those new guys on the roster to step up, fill into their role. But more importantly, those guys from last season to step up and fill a bigger role, guys like Kuminga, Moody, and Wiseman. And nonetheless, it was still great and reassuring for Warriors fans to see the Warriors come out and pick up right where they left off from last season.
Yeah, and they are the favorites to win the title right now. No surprise there.
Yes, sir.
All right, Nick, what are you thinking?
Yeah, so I was thinking the other night they were going to spoil ring night. That did not happen at all. They came out and they looked pretty good. Davis, he finally got back into a rhythm, and LeBron did his thing. He's always going to do his thing, but Russ just does not fit. Yeah. And I think that's going to cause a key problem all year long until he's traded. So until he's traded and they figure out a few rotation pieces, it's going to be a rough year.
Yeah, and I was thinking, was Russ going to come off the bench? Because that's what everybody was saying.
Yeah, because he came out the last preseason game off the bench, and then, let's see what happens.
But anyway, let's change gears here and just kind of talk about who do we think are the title favorites? Because obviously the Warriors and the Celtics, according to Caesars Sportsbook, they're the favorites. Of course, they were in the finals last season, but a lot of people are talking about the Clippers as well. So what do you guys think? What are you thinking, Jared?
My pick, if I had to pick right now, it's a little tough because the East this season, as you guys know, is a lot tougher than it was last year with the teams like reloading and stuff. So if I had to pick, I would say the Bucks though, because they went pretty far last year. They were only one game away from the conference finals, and they didn't even have Chris Middleton.
Right.
So now they have him with Giannis and everything. I think they'll be tough. And then West, I know it's the obvious pick, but I would say the Warriors. So I'd say Warriors and Bucks would be my two.
You took my answer. I had the Bucks and the Warriors in the finals. As long as both teams can stay healthy, that's obviously a big factor. Like you said, the Bucks probably would have taken it out the East last season if health wasn't a factor. So I think the Bucks take the Warriors in 7 games in the finals.
And I got a repeat from last year. It's going to be Celtics Warriors. The Celtics came out the other night and just looked too good. And even though they lost their coach, they still look like they're going to be the best team in the East. And then the Warriors are just too lethal with those two guys, Curry and Thompson. So another repeat.
Yeah, for sure. I would say the Grizzlies, honestly. I'm going for like the kind
John
of
Morant.
underdog a little bit. So we'll see what happens there. But I mean, do we not have a lot of trust in the Lakers this season? What do you think about the Lakers?
Zero.
No.
LeBron is going to be the highest, have the most points in the history of the NBA, but after that, it's nothing. Nothing else. Yeah.
I think the Lakers are I think the Lakers think they're the Warriors in the kind of way they're trying to shoot too many threes.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw the game against the Warriors. We had Patrick Beverley and Russ shooting step back three. So
Patrick Beverley
as soon as I seen that,
took a pull up three.
Yeah, as soon as I seen that, I seen there was probably going to be some issues going into the season.
Yeah.
So
yeah, tough for sure. But Yeah, I mean, we'll see how they do. I mean, will they trade Russ? Who knows?
I'm hoping.
I mean, yeah, we'll
It's
see
gonna
how
be
it
interesting,
goes. But yeah, that's going to do it for us on today's discussion. I'll turn it back over to Jade.
Thanks, Chris. Now on to Grub and Rebels. This week, we head to the ice as we chirped with senior forward Nick Flanders and junior defenseman Kyle Quinn. Let's see what they're grubbing on. Welcome back. We are once again at Mr. Fries Man, the best food around campus. And today we have some members from our hockey team.
What's up, guys? I'm senior forward number 11, Nick Flanders.
And hey guys, I'm Kyle Quinn, junior defenseman.
Let's go, Grub.
Let's go. I'm going to Jay Thomas.
After the
No doubt. And Mike goes to Ricky White.
Who do you guys model your game after?
That's a good one.
Good question.
It actually is. I don't know. I've had a couple favorite players growing up, like Patrick Kane, Marion Hossa. I don't think I really modeled
That's a
my
really
game
good
on someone,
question.
but
I model my game after star forward Brendan Manning.
Okay. So you posted a picture with Sidney Crosby, and it said, "Ever since you asked for a picture with me, you've won 3 Stanley Cups." What does that mean to you?
I mean, the proof's in the picture. Take a picture with me, you win 3 Stanley Cups. It's easy as it sounds.
So are you good luck?
That's pretty much where I am.
You guys heard that? If you want good luck, take a picture with Flandy. What does it mean when you guys put that jersey on?
I mean, it means everything. Like it means all the sacrifice that people have gone through to get you there, and for the people that can't put the jersey on, that want to put the jersey on. I mean, that just kind of says it all for me.
once you put that jersey on, like it's like game time. Like everyone knows I'm like one of those guys who's always joking around. Like I'll be the first one to crack a joke, like first one to do this. But once I put my jersey on, like I'm like, all right, like it's time to go.
What do you guys want to lead the viewers with?
We'd love to see you guys there at City National, and if you ever see us on campus, I mean, we're really friendly guys, so just say what's up. Yeah.
Yeah. Our fans that have been coming, keep on coming, and if you guys haven't seen a game yet, come on and watch us.
You can catch the full segment on our YouTube at Rebel Report UNLV. Now, over to Dom.
Thank you, Jade. Now, the Vegas Golden Knights, they opened their home campaign to some fanfare in a really, really tight game against the Chicago Blackhawks. But first up, we're going to start outside out in Toshiba Plaza with the gold carpet. This interactive take on the red carpet allowed fans to get up close and personal with some VGK players, coaches, and on-air personalities. Now, Paul Cotter, you're seeing his pregame fit right now. He stole the show with this fedora on his way into T-Mobile Arena, which blew up on social media. And heading inside the Fortress, Paul Cotter stole the show again. A really low-scoring affair with big saves from both goaltenders alike proved it only needed one goal, and Cotter provided just that. You're seeing here, Cotter 2-on-1 rips a snipe top shelf on Alex Stalick in the second period, and that was all the Vegas Golden Knights needed. They ended up holding on in this game to win 1-0 and send the VGK fans home happy after their first game.
It's rewarding, it's great, it's a good feeling, especially the first one's out of the way, so, but I gotta stick to my game. My game's not always scoring first goal for sure, it's staying physical, making sure I win my board battles and, creating energy for the guys, and when production comes, it's kind of a bonus.
Now this game, it kicked off the golden age for the Golden Knights. The Golden Knights switched their home jerseys from gray to gold, and the Vegas Golden Knights, Jade, they keep the jersey changes coming. Just announced they have a brand new jersey. Tell me what you got.
Well, I like that decision because they look very good in the gold jerseys. But after giving us a little tease, the Golden Knights unveiled their new reverse retro jersey for 2022. The jerseys incorporate glow-in-the-dark elements, paying homage to the neon lights of the Las Vegas Strip. They tell us the jerseys are now available for pre-order and will be available in-store November 15th.
And now on to esports.
Sebastian has more for us on your local esports.
Welcome to your Esports Update. My name is Sebastian Rooney, and I'm here to give you all you need to know about esports at UNLV and in Las Vegas. To kick things off, let's start with the UNLV Rocket League team. They are coming off a third-place finish in the Western Division during the spring. Unfortunately, they just missed out on nationals, but they are past that and look to replicate their success from last fall season and go the distance. League play started up this past week, and the Gaming Rebels had 2 games. One against Grand Canyon University and another against Keanu University. They ended up winning both these games, putting them in 3rd place, tied with Oregon and behind Columbia College and University of Texas Arlington. We wish them good luck this season and hope to see them finish as a top team in the nation. UNLV also announced their League of Legends and Valorant teams for the fall and spring semesters. After weeks of tryouts and evaluations, the club has finally made a decision for who will be representing the Rebel name. Both League of Legends and Valorant will have 2 teams at play for this season. The Valorant season kicks off on October 22nd, while League doesn't pick back up until the new year. We at Rebel Report want to congratulate all the players that made the teams and wish them good luck for their season. And that's it. My name is Sebastian Rooney, and this has been your Esports Update.
Next up, we are going to go to Jade and Marie on the mental strain that sports nutrition has on student athletes.
Hi Rebels, we're back for week 2 of Rebel Report, and today we're going to be talking about mental health and especially sport nutrition and everything that goes into dieting as an athlete and kind of like the mental toll that it can take on a person. So Jade, you are an athlete, you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
So how do you go about your nutrition?
So we actually get a sheet at the beginning of the year, and it kind of says what foods to eat, when to eat, food that's faster in digestion, food that you shouldn't eat before practice. But it's kind of hard because it's not necessarily set in stone, and so we have practice usually from like 12 to 4. So it's like you have to eat breakfast early, because if you eat breakfast at 10, then you have to eat lunch right at 11 before practice, and then you don't get out until like 5, and you're like, well, now I'm hungry. So it's kind of hard, but I'm glad that we have like the sheet there to like help us. But you were a ballet dancer for 10 years, so did you see any of those like similar struggles or anything?
Yeah, so I feel like it's not necessarily like directly told to you, but it's kind of like this, explicit thing where like you have to do it even if people like don't really like let you know. And it's just like a whole thing, because if you don't eat correctly, then you don't feel good for rehearsals, and so you just kind of do it, and sometimes it sucks. And so I was going to ask you, so how do you go about it when you want to go out eating with friends, but it's during the season, so you can't really do it? Like, how does that work?
That's actually a good question, because it took me a long time to figure that out, and I still don't think I have it down, because eating was very hard, because I'm like, I don't want to eat too much, I don't want to eat too little, but then you end up forgetting to eat because you get so stressed out and you're so busy, you just forget to eat, and it's like, it's not on purpose, but it's like, oh man, like I haven't eaten, or oh man, and I actually lost 10 pounds last season during like a very stressful period, but I didn't even realize. But once my weight coach was like, hey, like you're down on weight, it was like, oh, like I need to eat. So it's very, very hard. But do you see those similar things in ballet and like struggles?
Yeah, same thing. So I would say for ballet, I feel like it's a sport that's very much centered on like your body, and it's less of a team sport, but more like of an individual thing. So there's always this like competition going, even if you don't want it to, but it's just the way it is. And so it's always like a game of like, am I the skinniest? Am I skinny enough for this? And that gets to you. I mean, I struggle with it a lot, because you just look at those girls and you're like, oh my gosh, like I gotta be like them. But sometimes, bodies are different. You have a different body type. You cannot look like another girl, and then you just have to get over it. So yeah, definitely like nutrition and stuff is a super hard topic, and we'll have more in this in the coming weeks.
Jade and Marie, an excellent discussion. Thank you both so much for that. Now let's turn to a big game of the season coming up. The UNLV Rebels are on to the first big game of the season as they travel Midwest to South Bend, Indiana.
This Saturday, UNLV will travel more than 1,800 miles to South Bend, Indiana to face the Notre Dame Fighting Irish in what is considered to be one of the biggest games of the season. It is also the first match ever between these two teams.
And I think when you put in that much work and that much time, and you know the potential, regardless of how many bodies you got out and effective guys you've got on the sidelines, it's disappointing. And I think that their heart's in the right place when it is. That means they care.
Doug Brumfield was ruled out on the depth chart for last week's matchup against Air Force due to a head and ankle injury. This opens the door for backups Cameron Friel and Harrison Bailey.
Anytime you lose those guys and they go out, for guys to step into those shoes is hard. But it's the nature of the beast. It's one of those things you hope doesn't happen, but it happens to everybody.
Friel was 8 for 10 on his passing attempts, accumulating 108 yards total from Saturday night. And as for Notre Dame, they are coming off a shocking home loss to Stanford University.
This stadium is stunned right now.
While UNLV may have a better record than Notre Dame, it's no secret that they must improve their rushing defense, having given up 420 rushing yards in the process.
It's tough on the defense because we got to play a perfect game as well. So, hats off to them. They do what they do well. They run their offense well, and it's tough on defenses.
I got to do a better job with him. Me and Coach Holtz will definitely try to do a better job in the course of the week. And he knows we can't win games when we turn the ball over like that.
Now the Rebels are still on track to clinch a spot in the bowl game. We'll see if this team can get back to their winning ways. Reporting live in studio, I am the Josh Heron. Let's send it back to the desk.
Thanks, Josh. We wish our Rebels luck. Vegas, get ready for some more football, though, coming to your city.
Super Bowl 58 is going to be here in Las Vegas. Diego has more.
Hello everybody, we are here at Allegiant Stadium for Super Bowl 58's press conference. I am here with Chris the Moose Johnson and Barry Sabine, where we give you the inside look of what happened at this press conference.
With 479 days till Super Bowl 58, Allegiant Stadium hosts a Super Bowl committee conference to form a plan on how to prepare to usher Las Vegas into being a Super Bowl city. Chris Johnson was able to interview Sandra Douglas Morgan, president of the Raiders and vice chair on the committee, on how she believes Las Vegas is prepared for the event.
And we knew that we were able to host a sporting event because we had such strong protocols and procedures in place for that. So yes, being able to have the Super Bowl here in 2024 is the absolute icing on the cake. It's a combination of sports and entertainment and hospitality wrapped into one amazing week that we're going to host here in 2024.
Barry was able to interview Sam Joffrey, president and CEO of the host committee, on how the LVCVA is going to be a reliable partner and is ready to handle the traffic Super Bowl will bring to the city.
If there was any Convention and Visitors Bureau authority in the country that is more qualified to host Super Bowl and to take on this effort, it's definitely the LVCVA. And that's because of the robust hospitality industry here and the infrastructure and the number of hotel rooms and the number of, 4 million square feet of convention center space, and you've got the Strip and entertainment venues, and everything that happens here on a day-to-day basis is just going to be an incredible asset for Super Bowl.
Finally, we were able to catch up with president of the LVCVA, Steve Hill, who had this to say on how the Super Bowl will open doors for the city of Las Vegas.
The Super Bowl is a culmination of a lot of effort. It is more than the good housekeeping seal of approval. It is certification that Las Vegas has arrived. And you do a good job with that, and it signals to anybody out there in any league, in any type of sport, that having their events in Las Vegas is the place to do it.
For Rebel Report, this is Diego Escobar reporting.
We are so excited for that, but turning it over to the community, for this Community Week Spotlight, we have decided to highlight the Miracle League of Las Vegas because, like they put it, everyone deserves a chance to play basketball, and now soccer too.
The Miracle League is a non-profit that was founded in 2009 to help provide more recreational athletic opportunities for people with significant cognitive and physical challenges. Through inclusion for all, they hope everyone can experience being a teammate in a sports setting.
The league currently has nearly 300 players ranging from 3 to 74 years old, with just as many children as adults. Athletes, families, friends, caregivers, sponsors, and volunteers are all invited to help out during the games. Games volunteer, as they call them. Buddies hold a special place for the league, as anyone over 12 years old can help someone realize their dreams.
A volunteer high school player said, quote, "Being able to share my love of baseball with the Miracle League players makes me feel good and makes me see how fortunate I am. I loved their enthusiasm and energy and talking with them about their favorite team and players and getting to know them. If you also want to become a buddy or donate, you can go to miracleleague.com.
Thanks, Chris. That's a very important organization. And that will do it for today's Rebel Report. Thank you for watching.
And if you haven't already, make sure to follow our website and socials for more Rebel Report content at www.rebelreportlv.com, as well as exclusive stories you won't find anywhere else. Thank you and have a great day.